Is your 3D reality having you feel defeated and you're having a hard time persisting? If you feel like that's you, then you're going to want to stay tuned. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another rousing episode of Spill the Tea Tuesday. My name is Flossie, and I consider myself to be the funniest, wittiest mindset coach, as well as your OG Hype You Up Rampage Queen here on YouTube. If you want one-on-one coaching with me, great news, my coaching is back open, and I'm actually going to reopen my email coaching here soon, as well as I'm thinking of adding a one email option for those of you who just want instructions, and that's it. No follow-up questions, no continued coaching after that. Just want to ask an initial, what do I do, and get some instructions, and that's it, period. So I'm thinking of opening that up. And I'm also going to be doing a Get Your Shit Bootcamp for January to make 2025 your bitch. And why not make it your bitch? You're literally the opera and power of your reality. You can do have anything that you want. And so because of that, have the reality you want. So if you want to be with me and have some accountability in a Facebook group, then do the boot camp. It's also going to include like a call and like a month in Nikki and I's VIP group. And it's going to be dope. Also, Nikki and I are going to be doing some SP crash courses, an SP crash course and a money crash course coming in the beginning of this year. And I still have the exclusive, all-inclusive package of coaching that it's like for a month long of texting me nearly every day. We have weekly phone calls. We have other things going on to help you stay in line for what you want. And that's one-on-one coaching, not group coaching. But anyway, I enjoy my calendar. So here we go. This says enjoy the fucking moment. Yeah, as the opera and power of your reality, where you can do have anything that you want. So enjoy your 3D reality unfolding and getting your shiznit. This says, how are there still fucking presents to wrap? You know what? Were you late in the game this year for the holidays? Or, you know what? When you're master manifesting and you manifest being rich AF, pay someone to wrap the shit for you. That's what I have to say about that. This says, bitches be merry and bright. Of course we be merry and bright because we're getting all our shit. Facts. Hell yeah. It says, 'twas the day after Christmas and everyone was fucking exhausted. Not my reality. That sounds a little limiting. Perhaps you need to manifest having some more monies so that you can have people do the cleaning for you. This says, just stay off the fucking roads from now till March. Yeah, if you choose to live someplace full of snow, which you don't have to do in your reality. Or you can just choose to fly everywhere. How about that? Make yourself proud as hell and stop looking at the 3D reality as facts. Stop giving it any sort of weight whatsoever. Stop paying attention to it, which is going to be the segue into, is your 3D having you feel defeated and you find that you're struggling to persist? If that's you, then guess what? I've been hearing that a little bit lately. It seems to be a theme where people are really struggling with their 3D and you're giving it too much. You're giving it too much power. The 3D doesn't have any power over you. You are literally the opera and power of your reality, and you can do have anything that you want. So why would you give your power away to something that you have under your control by choosing what thoughts that you want to have? Now, I know that the 3D reality can sometimes be difficult, and I myself have experienced shiznit in my 3D before. And you know what? It's not necessarily pleasant when that happens, but sometimes it helps to really keep in mind what the 3D is in the first place. And if you need a refresher, you can go look at my video here where I talk about how, if you don't like your 3D reality, just change the script, because the 3D reality at best is a partial illusion. There's many different theories about what the 3D reality is. I just say at best it's a partial illusion. Some people don't agree with me. They don't have to. But you know what? If the 3D was hardcore fucking facts, then you wouldn't be able to change it by changing your thoughts. I have had a thought and have just had the thought leave my mouth because I'd be maybe talking to a manifestation buddy or someone that I knew or whatever, and I would mention a preference. I would mention something that I wanted to experience, and then guess what? It would show up. If my 3D reality was hardcore facts and as hard as this table right here, I wouldn't be able to change it like this, like practically instantly. The second the thought leaves my mind, my 3D reality is shifting into me getting what I wanted, what my preference was. If my 3D reality was hardcore facts and it was like set in stone, I wouldn't be able to do that. And I know a lot of people who have done that, especially once they knew that it was something that you could do. I know that you've probably heard in my videos, or maybe the one-on-one coaching with me, some of the weird things that I've manifested that are so crazy and bizarre that, it would almost sound like a delusional person. And I fully accept that. To a non-manifesting person who's never experienced anything, they probably would think that I've had some of those type of things. But the fact is that manifesting exists. We know that we manifest. Each one of us, when we've started to step in our power, has had something happen in our 3D reality that would be unexplainable by anything else other than manifestation. Because there's no such thing as miracles, and there's no such thing as coincidences, as I've talked in some of my other videos, because everything is literally manifestation. And so, first of all, stop seeing the 3D as hardcore facts, because it's not. No matter what's happening in the 3D, it still is changeable by you by changing your thoughts, whether you're experiencing something you prefer or whether you experience something that is not non-desirable to you. Any of it is changeable by changing your thoughts, which is why, of course, you want to choose thoughts that are in line with what you want to experience overall, because you don't want to necessarily have things that you don't want to experience. Having said that, a lot of times people seem to forget about the concept of free will. So I'm going to link a video here that reminds you that no one has any free will in your reality but you. You're the operant power. You get to choose what your thought and then therefore assumption is going to be about anyone, any topic, any concept, everything in your 3D reality, including you about how you show up, whether it be physically, mentally, emotionally, doesn't matter. Every single thing is, at the end of the day, your manifestation. Nobody has any free will. That SP doesn't have the free will to reject you. That SP doesn't have the free will to, say that someone else is better than you, someone else is better suited than you, that they don't want a relationship with you. Just like, your employer doesn't have the free will to reject you, to not give you your raise, to, if you have a potential employer, they don't have the free will to reject you and not hire you, etc., etc. Your friends, your family, even money. Money does not have the free will to reject you. It does not have the free will to choose not to, come over to you. You either are manifesting yourself as a version of you that has a ton of money or has whatever amount of money you want, or you're manifesting yourself to be the version of you that is what? AKA broke people. So all of it is manifestation. It can be, just like I said, very useful to review that no one has any free will in your reality at all, period. And so some of you might be thinking, okay, so I'm trying to acknowledge that I can change the 3D by changing my thoughts. And I am, also choosing to acknowledge that nobody has any free will but me, but I still feel like I'm having a hard time and I still feel defeated. Then that is when you use the tools. Use the FU letter and command letter so that you can start to take your power back. I know people I know people think they're ridiculous. Some people who AKA probably haven't done them. And I've even talked to clients and they're like, well, I've never done one. Well, why not? Here's the thing. I have them work for me, and a lot of my clients have them work for them too. My take on manifesting is a little bit different than some other people's because of what my background is. And the reason why I'm so into those tools, which are just another way to have repetition of thought, to be honest with you, is because while we're manifesting something consciously, we are often not dealing with any of the emotions that we would normally experience in our 3D reality that we normally would have processed or dealt with in another way when we were spiritually asleep, because in our mind as a manifestor, we have what we want and we're continuing to persist for what we want. So if we have an SP, romantic or otherwise, if we have, our romantic SP or another person in our 3D reality where we're manifesting them to do what we want or a different version of them, and they're not doing what we want, and we feel upset about that. When we were spiritually asleep, if we were upset with somebody, we would have something to say. If we had something negative happen in our relationship, we would often process that in some way, because in our mind, we were either, moving on from it, or, we were just choosing a different direction in our life, or we just were going through the grieving process and we allowed ourselves to do that. But when, even when you're manifesting money and you find that you're not having a ton of money and you're feeling really stressed about that, even when we're consciously manifesting money, a lot of times we're not processing the stress or anxiety related to not having the amount of money that we feel like we need. Maybe sometimes we even need it to survive, but we're not processing any of those things. Why? Because mentally we stay focused that we have it. And so when we are feeling anxious or upset about not having the person we want, the job we want, the amount of money we want, of the friendship we want, the relationship that we want with a family member, we just stuff those emotions down instead of processing them in some way. And so guess what? Sometimes that makes us like going to be a volcano that will explode because we are not just dealing with whatever that it is. And so the tools of the FU letter and command letter help people to process, number one, the negative emotion that they feel. The FU letter is also called the resistance letter. You don't have to be angry to write that. You can be sad, you can be grieving, you can just be feeling meh. You can just be feeling frustration. You don't have to feel furiously angry. It can literally just be, I am feeling some kind of way. Like I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling used, I'm feeling, just frustrated, anxious, whatever that it is. You're writing that out in the letter because you're in the FU letter / resistance letter. You're saying whatever you want to say to that person's face, the concept, whatever that it is, topic, how you feel about manifesting it or the version of it, unless of course it's trauma or you were a child, and then we don't take responsibility for the manifestation, and then we destroy it. And then the command letter, as you know, you basically are writing what you want that person, entity, or topic to do. Is if they're already doing it, you're writing it with authority, you're commanding it, you're just saying this is how it is, and you're using the words of conviction. I will link the videos on how to do those here because I'm not going to review it in its entirety in this video. But, you can also do EFT tapping. And that's also in a video that I have somewhere about anxiety, which I may or may not link. It depends if I can find it or not. But having said that, if you're feeling defeated by the way your 3D reality looks, number one, remind yourself, you know what? This is some old story playing out. I'm going to choose not to care. Process whatever emotions you feel like you need to process, but you can also look at the 3D reality with what? With indifference. Why? Because the 3D is a partial illusion, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what it reflects back to you. Now, I'm not trying to be insensitive to your guys' feelings because I know some shit can be pretty hard. And, if you're feeling like you need to cry it out or punch a punching bag, go right ahead and do that. But at the same time, know that I don't care what a SP says. I don't care what anyone else says in your reality. I don't care if someone says they'd never hire you. I don't care if SP says I'll never have anything to do with you. I don't care if SP appears to be choosing some friend or some other person over you. At the end of the day, it's still an illusion that's changeable by you choosing to change your thoughts. But the more that you persist and just throw the bullshit in here, because you remember this bitch is always hungry for your shit, the more that you put the bullshit in there, guess what? The easier that everything will be. The more that you persist and just choose to stay laser focused, because one of my last videos was persisting versus mental diet or what have you, I believe, or routine versus mental diet. But I did talk heavily about persisting in there. The more that you choose to stay laser focused on what you want, despite what you think you see or hear in the 3D. Oh, I know the video. It was about, seeing the bullshit in your 3D as ridiculous. If it's flinging shit at you, think of it as like the monkey flinging shit. It's ridiculous. But the more that you just see it as ridiculous and you look at it with indifference and you choose to affirm and persist, the quicker things usually will turn around for you. But having said that, if you're feeling defeated or having a hard time persisting, you need to take a step back and recognize that 3D's an illusion. It's a partial illusion at best. Nobody has any free will. You're literally the fucking operant power. You can be to have anything that you want. Don't feel defeated by seeing some old story playing out, because the old story can't defeat you. Manifestation's a battle of the mind. I've said it before and I've said it again. And you are, the one that's choosing your thoughts that you are going to have can move beyond your ego mind trying to protect you, or can move beyond whatever it is that you see in your 3D reality. I've had clients literally marry their specific person who said, I'd never be with you, I'll never marry you. And they had all these circumstances that seemed, not overcomable. I've had people manifest 6-figure amounts of money like that for whatever it was, that they were manifesting the money for. You've seen some of my success stories, whether it be family members' health, whether it be, shifting realities and manifesting the seemingly impossible in a relationship or financially, or, getting a house, or whether it be some sort of residency statuses. People manifest stuff daily like a boss in their realities because they can. They're the operant powers of your reality. You're the operant power of your reality. Get your shit, period. Stop giving into a 3D that's trying to have you feel defeated when it's just your old stories and your old thoughts playing out. Try not to pay it as much attention as possible. Use whatever tools that you need to step back in your power. You're the operant power of your reality. Just step back into that power, reclaim that power, and put your almighty foot down as operant power, and just be like, I'm done with this fake ass 3D. I'm going to get my shit, period. It does conform. It does happen. There's plenty of people who've manifested amazing things, including myself, my clients, many others, people in the Mermaid Gang. Check out the success stories. Use those as motivation, but don't have your 3D reality defeat you. You're the operant power. Put your foot down. Put your foot down. It's an illusion. Don't give in to the illusion. They don't have free will. Crack that whip. They don't have the free will to reject you. No. So stop allowing them to appear as though they're doing so by continuing to put your foot down and rejecting that 3D reality. So I hope that this video is being helpful to you. I know that the 3D reality can seem very real and at times be very painful, but you do not have to accept it. You can continue to reject it. You can revise on the spot. You can use all sorts of tools at your disposal: affirming and persisting, looping your affirmations, robotic affirming, focused affirming, power affirming, whatever repetition of thought that you want to have. Just keep going until your 3D reality conforms, and then keep going until it's hardened into fact. People hardened into fact. So I wish you guys the most amazing holiday season ever. Know that even if you don't have your manifestations yet, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen for you. Just keep pushing and pushing through until it does, because the 3D reality must conform. If you have that desire, creation's already finished. You just have to become the version of you that has it. Just keep going. And on that note, I will say goodbye for now, and I'll talk to you later. Oh, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please drop them below, because I love to check them out. And as usual, I'll talk to you later. Bye.